Greetings, peeps, and welcome to Humanities Through the Arts, or IHU 810, our Summer 23 session. I'm your host, Dr. Tim Hendrickson. You can call me Dr. H. Everybody does. And while we're on that subject, just let me say my name is Dr. Hendrickson, or Dr. H. Not Mr., not Tim, nothing, no derivation thereof. It's just Dr. H or Dr. Hendrickson, please. I respectfully address that you address me as Dr. Hendrickson or Dr. H and not by my first name, nor by Mr. H or any other derivation. Just plain old Dr. H is great, please. Thank you. So, a little bit about this course. Essentially, this is a condensed 7 weeks course, okay? While other courses in a full semester get, 14 to 16 weeks, we only get half that. So it's important for you to realize this and to budget your time wisely. This is an all online course. We do not meet at any regular specific time, either physically or virtually, as this course is entirely online. Each student is left to their own direction and discretion as to the pace at which you work. So there is a detailed course schedule, which we're going to get into in just a minute, for you to use as a time frame or as a guide. However, just understand you are responsible for the completion of your work. Nobody else but you. So you have a time frame in front of you. You got to follow it. You don't follow it, that's on you. Okay, so this course is a survey of the human experience as it pertains to what we refer to as the arts. Now, the arts in our case of academic study would refer to things like paintings and sculpture and dance and theater, music, cinema, and we're going to be focusing our attention on all of these media, but we are going to be focusing through the lens of music. I'm a professor of music, so in this particular session, that's what we're going to focus through. So in other words, we'll be taking some time to relate much of what we view as art and comparing and relating it to various musical forms and genre. So don't be alarmed. The majority of the questions that you're going to be answering are what do you think type of questions. So really there are no incorrect answers, but you do have to take the time to answer those questions. Okay, in regard to that, required materials. You will need to purchase the online textbook access code. And as I understand it, if you go to the Delta College bookstore, there is an access code card that's available for this course. Some of you have already bought the access code card. I know many of you had some difficulties with the registration. There is now a registration link for you on our e-learning site. Just scroll down through the contents tab and you'll see there's a online textbook registration link. You click on that link, you put in your registration code and info, and then the next time you log in to e-learning, you can click on that link and it'll take you right to the ebook. You won't have to put in your registration code every single time. Please understand, you've got to have that textbook. You cannot complete this course successfully without it. Failure to purchase it may result in you being dropped from the course or receiving a failing grade. So please get on that right away. All of the assignments, the majority of the assignments are found in that online text. Readings and listening and viewing are all found there. There are a few items in which you will access through e-learning. These include our discussion topics, the podcast links, and assignment drop boxes. Now we're going to talk about those in detail in just a minute. So grading. Folks, you can read this information all on e-learning looking at our syllabus, okay? I know you all know how to read, so I'm not going to bore you with the details, but understand, remember this is an online course, okay? There's no physical attendance. Your completion of your assignments, your participation in discussion topics, all of that is going to be the measure of your attendance. So every time you log on, every time you complete an assignment, that's it. That's what your attendance is, okay? That counts. So remember always that I grade on participation and effort every bit as much as I do correct answers. So if you are participating, you're giving it your best, you're going to do fine. Everyone starts with an A, okay? Everyone starts with an A, and you will receive that A provided you do the following: complete the assignments on time, participate in discussion topics, okay? Demonstrating active interest in the course and course materials, and ask questions and volunteer answers, communicate with your prof and with your fellow students. Really, it's quite simple. Just be engaged in the course. Now, having said that, okay, I am aware this is summer, and many of us are taking this course to fulfill some type of gap in credits that we might be experiencing with respect to the humanities. I get all that. Nevertheless, this is a 3-credit-hour course. There is some tooth to it. You have to do the work. You have to do the assignments. Okay, so let's take a look at some of these components in detail. For example, the detailed course schedule. If you take a look at this, you can see that all of the sections are listed, the begin dates and the end dates. You will notice that every single assignment is due by the end of the semester, okay? Let me say that again. Every single assignment is due by the end of the semester. So you have until the end of the semester to complete this, but understand that's only 7 weeks, okay? So don't fool yourself into thinking, oh, I've got 3 months. No, you do not have 3 months. You only have barely 2 months. So please make every effort to do these on time. Our online text, of course, contains all of the assignment questions, the readings. Much of the viewing is on the online text. In other words, the art that you're going to be exposed to, the paintings and so forth, those things you are going to have on your online text. So at the end of each chapter, you will have what are called perception key questions. And in order for you to answer these questions, here's the situation. You have your 2 components, right? You have the e-book, the online textbook, and you have e-learning. E-book is where you have the readings and the materials and the perception key questions. E-learning is where you're going to submit your answers. And where do you do that? Through the assignments Dropbox. So let's take a look at that assignment Dropbox. Okay, folks, so in order for us to understand how to submit assignments, we have to go through our e-learning site. So first and foremost, let's take a look at that. When you first log on to e-learning and you click on our course, this is the first thing you should see, our Humanities Through the Arts homepage. This is where you have news items, you have the description of the instructor and all of these news items here on the left. And then if you look down here on the lower right-hand side of the screen, you see a calendar. Understand that this is talking about when things are due. You'll notice that all the due dates, as I said earlier, August 15th. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a second, but understand this is not the detailed course calendar. To find the detailed course calendar, you would come to the contents page. When you go to the contents page, you can see right here, this module, the detailed course calendar. And you can see this is exactly what I showed you earlier. Okay, so I'm going to let you take a look at these things on your own time. But let's go directly to those assignments that I was talking about, how to submit them. So first and foremost, understand that you can now register your online textbook by going down to the online textbook registration link. You click on this. It's going to bring you to this window. You put in your access code and so forth. Right now it's asking for my email address. That's because my access code has already been entered. Once you have registered your online text, you shouldn't have to do that. It should just come right up. But needless to say, once you do that, I would keep that a window open. So have multiple tabs. Keep a window open that has your online textbook right in it. And you can see here, you can scroll through the pages at will. So let's get to the assignment portion, okay? So we're just going to go, on the assumption, okay, I've read this first chapter. Here are the perception key questions. And we're going to stop there so that we can go back and take a look at the assignment itself. So if we click on, there's a couple of different ways we can get there. If we click on section 1, you can see here where it says assignment, the humanities, and introduction. If you click on this, it's going to take you to this section right here. And then you can see down here below, it has a window that this is where you put your answers. Now the questions are, provide short answers to the perception key questions found at the end of the reading sections. They each bear the name of a work of art you are asked to evaluate. So Echo of a Scream is first, and then you would submit your questions. Now if you go back to the text, okay, and you find these perception key questions, you can go down and find the one that has to do with Echo of a Scream. I believe that is found, right here. So Echo of a Scream. What are the important distortions in this painting? So you would come over here, and you could go down here and say, if you want, you could type in the question, what are the important distortions in this painting? And then give your answer. It looks as though there is an infant in pain. Okay? And then the next question, obviously underneath that, what effect does the distortion of the baby's head have on you? Again, I mentioned to you, these are all what do you think type questions. None of these are right or wrong answers. It's just what do you think? So how does that tortured baby's head make you feel? Well, you might say something along the lines of, it makes me feel, well, if I could type, it makes me feel like I want to comfort that baby. Okay, I'm just giving you random answers, folks. These are not anything but just random. Why is the scream described as an echo? Now there's a introspective question. Well, because you probably only hear the scream in your mind. Okay, let's go back. What's the next one? What are the objects on the ground around the baby? How do they relate to the baby? Well, let's take a look. What are these objects on the ground? My goodness. I don't know. It's a bunch of garbage and metal and a gun barrel, it looks like, and all kinds of things. So you could say the objects appear to be scrap metal, a gun barrel, shrapnel, perhaps from an exploded bomb, They do not appear to relate to the baby at all, in my humble opinion, other than sight of these by an infant would probably cause it to cry. Oops, not cry. All right, so there gives you an example, okay? There obviously are more questions up here, so you would include all of these, 1 through 8, right? And then when you finished your answers, all you have to do is hit submit. And then your submission will be recorded, and I will read it, and I will respond with comments. Now, that is one way of getting to it. You can also simply go to the Activities tab, go to Assignment Drop Boxes, click on the assignment that you're doing, and look, you have the same thing here. You have this text box that you would put your answers in, and once you're done, you would hit the Submit button. Now, some of you have asked questions about, I see where you have these questions, but I don't see where to submit. That's because you're not looking at the assignment drop boxes. You are looking at the assignment description, right? If you look here, it says you will submit your answers in the space provided below. Well, you're not going to see it there. You have to click on, right? You've got to click on that assignment. Once you click on that assignment, that will come up, but you can't, you're not going to find it in the Contents tab. So either go to the Activities tab, click on Assignment Drop Boxes, and click on the appropriate assignment, or in the module of the assignment you're doing, click on either the Humanities and Introduction, or you can click on it here. Anytime there's a hyperlink, you click on that, that's going to bring you up to exactly the same thing. Okay? So I hope that this has clarified how to submit your assignments. I will have more informative and instructive materials for you in the not too distant future. Let's get back to our course description. Okay, so hopefully that has cleared up some things for some people. Now let's talk a little bit about these podcast viewings. There will be a few podcast episodes I will ask you to watch. These are performances by local artists from the Tri-City areas. There will be a series of short answer questions. Again, what do you think type questions to complete for each of the podcasts. You'll find that the majority of this course involves these what do you think type questions, okay, and answers. There are no hard and fast rules, particularly when we're talking about evaluating and surveying the various forms of this thing we call art, and in particular as we look at it through the human experience, right? Your own judgment, tastes, likes, dislikes will often supersede what you may have thought were supposed to be the right answers, okay? So you got to kind of be introspective about some of this and not be afraid to answer how you feel. Understand, this is not designed to get you to like another art form or to say, oh, I just love this, I'm going to go out and buy, blah, blah, blah. No, it's talking about the human experience. You should know that artists don't always care if you like their art. What they care about is that their art is being viewed and someone is expressing an opinion about it. That's all. And many composers feel the same way. They don't care whether you're walking out of the concert hall loving everything you heard. They want you to react to it. So please, take a look at that and consider this when you are responding to these perception key questions, when you're responding to the podcast questions. Don't just respond with one word, okay? One word answers. Tell me nothing. Give me something to chew on, okay? Give me something substantive about why you feel the way you feel, okay? As always, if you have any questions, please get in touch with me, particularly if they're related to, trouble accessing any of the components on e-learning. and just if you have any questions in general, okay? You should all by now be participating in our first discussion topic, which is introducing yourself. I will have my post up there soon, hopefully by the time this video is published. So, once again, welcome. I'm looking forward to getting to know each of you and experiencing some of these wonderful works of art and musical examples. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun together. So enjoy it, okay? And we'll be seeing you again soon. Thanks for watching.
Love makes me treat you the way that I do. Gee, baby, ain't I good to you? There's nothing too good for a girl that's so true. Gee, baby, ain't I good to you? I bought you a fur coat for Christmas, a diamond ring, a Cadillac car, and everything. Love makes me treat you the way that I do.